All right, let's get this guy going. Hi. Welcome to Real Talk with Barkley. This is our first real episode, and today we have something that is pretty relevant. Staying relevant, it matters. I got an email yesterday from the National Association of Realtors that honestly kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I'm gonna just read you some of the letter and then comment where I need. On September 4th, the CDC declared a temporary halt to residential evictions to prevent the further spread of COVID-19, which applies to all residential housing. This moratorium ends on December 31st, 2020. This may seem helpful to renters in short term, but this notice does not relieve residents from their rental obligations, and landlords may charge late fees, penalties, and interest on missed rental payments. So cool, thanks, but no thanks. If you can't pay your rent now, why would you be able to pay your rent later, January 1st, with fees, payments, which might end up putting you over what you should have been paying? Right now, the housing markets are strong, but a lack of rental assistance jeopardizes the entire real estate market. The eviction crisis that will occur at the end of this eviction moratorium will be significant. The current eviction moratorium will leave housing providers and renters alike struggling and will have a devastating impact on our national economy. More than 40% of rental units across the nation are owned by mom and pop owners who will struggle to keep up with their financial obligations. So what I've been hearing around town is people saying stuff like, well, if I don't have to pay my rent, why would I pay it? Well, you do have to pay your rent. You gotta pay your rent, and you gotta pay it January 1st, probably with late fees and penalties. So why not just pay it now if you can pay it? When you think about these 40% mom pop owners, they aren't part of the 1%. They're just like you and me. But instead of working at a restaurant, you putting money in the stock market, right? They've put their money into real estate, which is usually a really safe bet if we don't have a global crisis, which the government then takes away your right to collect rent. It's put everyone in a bit of a pickle. During the moratorium, property owners will struggle to make their obligations, including mortgage payments, insurance, taxes, property maintenance, utilities, and staff. What happens when these things can't get paid for? Staff gets let go. That means your apartment complex is not going to get cleaned. Utilities. Well, if your landlord can't pay the utilities, how are you going to get utilities? What I can't stress more is if you can pay your rent, pay your rent. Last little thing. That's why we, the National Association of Realtors, along with our coalition partners, are asking Congress to make rental assistance necessary for rentals and housing providers. Congress must enact an emergency rental assistance program that addresses the challenges for housing providers and renters alike. The House passed HEROES Act did include rental assistance, but it wasn't sufficient to cover the number of renters covered by the CDC notice. All renters who are eligible and attest to their need for the eviction moratorium must be covered. Payments should be made directly to housing providers who provide housing authorities with copies of their residents' attestations. Seems fair to me. The rent would go from you to your landlord who would pay off their mortgage. So, seems fair. It goes straight to your landlord and you don't have to pay your rent. Let's ask Congress for it. That leads us into a link I have for you. Go check out the link in my bio or the link in my description. It's got a pre-written letter to Speaker Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, asking them to help provide rental assistance to the citizens of the United States so that we can help avoid a housing crisis in 2021. That's what we really all want, right? Except for buyers. And look, I'm not saying any of this to scare anyone. That would be the last thing that I would want to do. We have so many buyers on the market right now. That being said, what we really don't want people to lose their home. That is our main goal. If you think that you are at risk of losing your home, I have provided another link with details of how to talk to your lender. I did this one back in the beginning of COVID, but all the information is still super relevant. Also, most of your lenders, if you check out your service provider's website, they have posted information that they need from you in order to just keep the line of communication going. What I urge you to do, talk to your landlords, talk to your lenders, Make sure you're paying whatever you can, and let's all do our part in staying positive and uniting the country instead of dividing it. All right, friends, I'm gonna let you go, but it was nice having a real talk with you. See you later.